Welcome to the Hamsley Analytics Daily Market Commentary. I'm Pablo Navarro. Today is Monday, April 16, 2012. Today's economic data, retail sales, came in better than expected at 0.8% and we're expecting 0.3%. For the markets, the S&P 500 futures saw a high of the day of 1375.25 and a low of the day of 1360.75. We closed at 1363.75. Today's volume was 1.9 million contracts, a little higher than the 20-day moving average of 1.7 million contracts. For the Nasdaq futures, we saw a high of the day of 2710 and a low of the day of 2656.5. We closed at 2664.75. Today's volume was 400,000, higher than the 20-day moving average at 270,000. For the market internals, the New York Stock Exchange Advanced Decline Differential closed at 433. The Nasdaq Advanced Decline Differential closed at 75. There were 14 new 52-week highs for the S&P 500 and 5 new 52-week lows for the S&P 500. For the volatility, there were 440,000 contracts traded today. For the total premiums, there was $45 million traded today. For the dollar-weighted put-call ratio in April, we saw a 0.96 reading, and it had 23% of the total premiums paid. For May, we saw a 0.75 reading, and it had 53% of the total premiums paid. And for June, we saw a 0.94% reading, and it had 8% of the total premiums paid. Okay, here we have the daily chart for ES. You could see here we had another down day, basically flat, but we continue to build momentum to the downside here on the CI diff, which is not good. On the intraday chart, you could see here this morning we started selling off at the open. We sold off pretty hard at the open, then basically we were on a range throughout the day, and then just started rallying, make a couple of highs here, and then we just sold off and took all of the highs we had made before, so it was not very good close for the ES. So you could see here we touched the 50-day moving average today, but we're not able to hold and close above it, so we closed up below the 50-day moving average. Right now the levels we're watching on the downside continue to be 1334 on the downside, and higher we need to start breaking the moving average, the 50 and the 20-day moving average at 1390 to continue to see higher prices. Okay, here we have the Nasdaq daily futures. As you can see, we are right now at negative 3 sigma. We sold off pretty hard today, over 1% lower for the day. This was due to the big names we're selling off today. Apple, Priceline, Google had a big impact on the Nasdaq. CI continues to point lower. CI diff continues to build momentum to the downside. So we'll see what happens. The only thing for the upside here is that we are on negative 3 sigma, which may be a little bit oversold short term. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. As for gold, we touched the 0 sig line. We could not hold and go above it for the close. Still remains to be some bearish activity on gold. We're watching the 1600 again, watching the lows that we made last week, to see if we go lower. On the upside, we're looking at the 1684, which is the 100-day moving average. Has acted as resistance now a couple of times, as you can see on the graph. For silver, this is the daily chart for silver futures. They were almost flat today, a little up, but we're still on the lower range of the consolidation we've been getting here. This may be a head and shoulders, as you can see here. One shoulder, the head, and we're making the other one. A break below the 31 level will certainly put us on the high 20s, maybe even test these lows. So keep an eye on silver to see what happens. Last chart for the VIX. Today the VIX was flat. As you can see here, nothing happened. We touched the 100-day moving average, and then we pulled back. No, nothing was broken on the upside or downside. We continue to see volatility is coming back to the market, which is good. We'll see what happens with earnings, the earnings season, and I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good day.